Alrighty, so in this video, we're going to do another quadratic formula problem, but it is different, and it's different in like two ways. So first thing, obviously we got variables on both sides, so we got to fix that. We're going to move the 2x squared over just by minusing 2x squared. That'll cancel that out. And we have to minus it from over here too. Like terms, got to do that. Also, let's plus 2 on both sides to cancel that. Plus 2 right there to cancel that. Now, over here we'll simplify. So we get 3x squared plus 2x, that just comes down, and plus 4 is equal to 0 because those cancel and those cancel. All right, now we can use the quadratic formula. Yes. Negative b is negative 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 2 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. Good. Let's go ahead and simplify a little. Plus or minus. Now here, I'm just going to throw that in the calculator. 4 minus 4 times 3 times 4 gives me negative 44 under the square root. And that is what is different about this one. 2 times 3 is 6. So because it's negative, you're actually going to wind up with complex solutions. All right? When you have the square root of a negative, you wind up with imaginary numbers. So we're going to have negative 2 plus or minus, and this negative, you're going to pull it out of the square root, and it's going to become an I, but the rest of it's going to be normal. That way the root becomes positive. All over 6. And we're not going to do anything further with this. There is a step further that you could go, but we'll do that some other time. And you cannot, the 2, the 6, and the 44, you can't simplify those because the 44 is under the square root. All right, so that's about as much as you can do with this one. Now, if you wanted to check your answer, you would run into a problem here. So, like mode, make sure that you are in complex number mode right here. Press enter, then you can quit. But if you were to do the alpha y equals, I'll just type it in so you see. Oh yeah, I haven't showed you where the I is. I is right down. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, now you can see it. It's right here where the little decimal is. You do second, and then that one. Root 44. And this is going to be a problem. You got an error data type. So for some reason, the calculators will not take imaginary numbers using the alpha y equal. So instead, we're going to wrap it. We're going to wrap the numerator in parentheses like this and type it in that way. So we're going to do parentheses negative 2 plus I. That was second in the little decimal button. Okay, 44. Close the parentheses and then divided by 6. All right, and this is our decimal answer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to store this. I'm going to store that to x. All right, and now I can actually plug this in to the original equation. I could do it in the left side and see if it equals the right side. I'm just going to do it with this second equation we have. 3x squared plus 2x plus 4, and it does equal 0, and that's what we wanted. Okay. Another thing, let's see here. So you know how we had the decimal answer? If you wanted to get back to the fraction answer, you can go to math and then frac. Yeah, and it has this problem over on the complex number side. So just wanted to make sure you know about that. It's not bad, but because of that square root of 44 over 6, that's why you end up with that decimal part at the end. That's still messy. All right, let's see how we're doing. Yeah, I think we got time. A little quick one here. So we need to move this 3x over. Okay, move the 3x over. This is going to be negative x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0. Now, something you can do with equations when you have, like here, I got so many negatives, but usually whenever my a term is negative, I don't like that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by -1. And as long as you're dividing both sides, you can do this. So they're just going to change signs. It's going to become positive x squared, positive 4x, and positive 5 equals 0. All right, and now we can apply the quadratic formula. So negative b is -4 plus or minus, here, there we go, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 16, minus 4ac, all over 2 times 1. Okay, -4 plus or minus. Okay, so 4 times 5 is 20, and then 16 minus 20 is going to be -4. So this one's going to behave a little nicer, actually. So you still have the I because you have the negative here, but the square root, you're actually square rooting a perfect square this time. So it's going to be nicer. Plus or minus square root of 4 is 2, and then the negative part makes it a 2i. Good. You can divide all three of these, the 2, and the 4. You can divide all those by 2. So you'll get -2 for that one, plus or minus I, and then it'd be over 1, but you don't have to write that part. So that'd be your answer there. You could store that to x, -2 plus I, store to x, plus I, store to x, and then you could type in the equation, the original, and see if it actually does give you 0. And then you need to check the minus version too, I guess, but it should work out. All right, one last thing real quick. I should have mentioned it. When you go to enter in your answers on Canvas, you're going to have to enter your answers in like this, not decimal form. It's going to look kind of messy. But on Canvas, it'll say something like, enter your answer in the form a plus bi, or yeah, a plus, oh yeah, no, it is a plus I root b over c. And basically, you're just going to type in the numbers. So like a, you would type in -2, c, you would type in 6, and b, you would type in 44. So that's how it's going to ask you to type in your answers.